Live from Fox 35 News, you're watching Good Day Orlando.
And right now at 5, a suspect killed by police not far from Orlando High School. Why officers argue they were forced to defend themselves.
Plus, celebrating New Year's safely. Police departments are ramping up patrols for the holiday. The massive celebration expected downtown.
And once again, beware of the fog. You may want to take it slow on some Central Florida roads. We're going to talk about when the mist is expected to lift here in just a little bit. Final day of the year. It is New Year's Eve. Good to be with you. I'm Ryan Elijah.
Hi, Ryan.
Good. Danielle, good morning.
Good morning, Ryan. How you feeling?
I'm good.
You rested?
Very rested.
I'm glad to hear it. I'm Danielle Knock. Let's get right on over to Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Jessica Dobson. Hey, Jess.
Hey, good morning, guys, and good morning, Central Florida. Here is a live view of downtown Orlando at the Mousetrap, where if you look closely, you can actually see it looks a little hazy and a little misty because we do have some of that patchy dense fog out there. It's very hit and miss, so just keep that in mind as you're trying to make it out the door this morning, if you have to get out the door, that is. 66 degrees and just a handful of cars out on the roadways, I should point out there at the Mousetrap. Our dense fog advisory continues through about 9 a.m. That's going to be for most of our counties in Central Florida, with the exception of Flagler and Marion counties. That being said, we could still expect a little bit of patchy fog to pop up in those spots as well. But overall, we do expect things to clear up as we get closer towards the 9 o'clock hour. And I would say, especially by 10 a.m., things are going to be faring a lot better. So as we get you out the door on this last day of 2024, temperatures will go from the mid-60s this morning. It's a very warm start to our day. 64 degrees through the 6 o'clock hour, 65 by 8 a.m. and 70 by the 10 o'clock hour. So coming up, I'll talk more on just how long this warm stretch is going to last and what we can expect for the first couple of days of 2025. That'll be coming up in just a few minutes. But first, let's get a check of the roadways with Skyfox traffic this morning. And so far, the roadways have been looking pretty good. I don't think too many people are going to be out this morning. So hopefully you have a smooth go of things, especially with the fog. We can see a little bit of that patchy fog here from our camera there on I-75. This is going to be Ocala to Wildwood. You're looking at a 17-minute commute. So overall, not bad. We are in the green. I'll keep you posted, though, throughout the rest of this morning of any incidents or delays. But until then, guys, I'll send it back over to you at the desk.
All right, Jessica, thanks. We'll see you in a little bit. We do want to talk about, we're learning more about an officer-involved shooting. This took place in Orlando.
We certainly are. It happened 1 block away from a high school in Pine Hills. Officers responded to Shining Willow Terrace around 9:13 last night for a domestic disturbance. Fox 35's Amanda McKenzie joins us live from the Orlando Police Department this morning with more. Amanda, good morning.
Good morning. Well, when Orlando police officers arrived at the home, they say they found the 26-year-old suspect outside armed, and the situation quickly escalated. No officers were hurt in this shooting and will be on paid administrative leave while FDLE investigates. Reporting live from the Orlando Police Department, Amanda McKenzie, Fox 35 News.
All right, Amanda, thank you. 5:02 and happening in just a few hours. The woman accused of shooting her husband inside a Daytona Beach hospital is scheduled to appear in court. Investigators say Ellen Gillen shot her terminally ill husband as part of a suicide plan. She was not able to turn the gun on herself, however. She was initially charged with first-degree murder, but her charges were changed to assisting self-murder and aggravated assault. Court starts at 8:30 this morning in Daytona Beach. Well, thousands of people are expected downtown in Orlando tonight for New Year's celebrations.
Yeah, not just the parties bringing people to Orlando, of course, sports fans in town for the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. That's at Camping World Stadium. Morgan Parrish is live. Morgan, good morning. Orlando police say they are ready for an eventful night.
Ryan, good morning. Yeah, a lot is going on tonight. Like you said, we have the Citrus Bowl. It's New Year's Eve. We know thousands of people are going to be out here on downtown. We're right here on Wall Street. We know this is where a lot of people hang out, but with that comes extra safety precautions. We know that security is a #1 priority this year. And Filippo says he expects between 3,000 and 4,000 people in his venue tonight, as well as others here in downtown. So again, it is going to be a busy night. Hopefully everybody stays safe, and again, there are those extra safety precautions in place. Reporting live downtown, I'm Morgan Parrish, Fox 35 News.
Well, some new details this morning here at 5:06. The Brightline train that slammed into that fire truck on Saturday was heading to Orlando. This is video released by Brightline after the crash in Delray Beach. Fox 35's Vandy Hildreth spoke to a man who was on board when his trip home came to a screeching halt.
Oh, that video is something.
Absolutely,
for sure.
right? Boy. Well, 5:08 is the time right now. And right now, flags are ordered to fly at half-staff until sunset on January 28th to honor former President Jimmy Carter.
The country's 39th president died Sunday at 100 years old. On the fourth procession will escort Carter from his homes in Plains, Georgia to Washington. Carter will then lie in state at the Capitol Rotunda before his memorial service on January 9th. President Biden is set to deliver the eulogy. After the service, Carter will be brought back to Plains, where he'll be buried next to his wife, Rosalind. All right, coming up on Good Day Orlando, people are bringing out the fireworks, of course, for tonight's New Year's celebration.
Well, mine started last night in my neighborhood.
Oh, they did?
Okay, yeah, no, it's not New Year's Eve yet.
Okay.
Yeah, no, ours did. So that kept me awake last night. But we're going to tell you the rules that Floridians do need to follow, and that includes you couldn't do it last night, but they did.
Yeah, there are some laws.
All right. Also, always on call, an off-duty paramedic steps in to save a life when he sees a blazing car fire where he says what he did was nothing extraordinary. Let's check in with the extraordinary Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Jessica Dobson. Hey, Jess.
Oh, you're too kind. Yeah, this morning we are dealing with some patchy dense fog. We have a dense fog advisory in place for much of Central Florida. Coming up, I'll talk more on how long this dense fog is set to last, plus the latest on your New Year's Eve forecast. That'll be coming up after the break.
The Fox 35 Care Force, it's our commitment to Central Florida.
The largest walk in the country.
We raise money and get school supplies to families in need.
We're helping over 1,000 families with full Thanksgiving baskets this year.
To make a difference, help people who need support from guide dogs. As of right now, we have about 945 toys.
Why do we do this? Because it's the right thing to do. The Fox 35 Care Force. Depend on us.
5:12 this morning. Good morning. If you're waking up with us in Brevard County, that's where we're looking right here. This is the Launch Credit Union camera at Port Canaveral, where they had that record-setting launch early this morning from SpaceX. One Volusia County, a man at the center of a deadly stand-your-ground case is now cleared of any criminal charges.
This is a story that made national headlines, and Fox 35's Hannah McKenzie spoke with the mother of the man who was killed.
Well, authorities are sharing a warning now as we count down to 2025. Each year, an estimated 8,300 Americans end up in the hospital for injuries related to fireworks. Now, Floridians are allowed to shoot off fireworks with some restrictions. Non-professionals can only use fireworks on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and the 4th of July. You also have to be 18 years old to purchase fireworks. Fire officials say you should place them on a stable surface, ignite them one at a time, and only one person should handle them. So we'll see if your neighborhood has a few going off tonight.
Yeah.
Ours did not last night.
Ours did. I couldn't believe it. I'm like,
technically illegal, but yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't wait till tomorrow. You know what I mean? It was crazy.
By the way, we've got 44 minutes till our first. Auckland, New Zealand has their celebration.
Oh, wow. That's right. Okay. So
I heard the producers talking about it. So,
I was like, wow, right.
Yeah, I just got it right here.
Isn't that crazy when you think about 2025 is starting to happen in under a half hour? It'll be the new year for a lot of places.
I feel like since 2020, since the pandemic, things have just flown by.
I agree.
I was just thinking that the other day.
Absolutely
It
agree.
seems so different now.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
I'm like, 2025, what happened?
Right.
It's crazy, but it's
But it's just not me.
Yeah, no, it's not
I
you.
think it's a lot of people, but it's going to be here whether we like it or not.
Sure.
So might as well talk about the forecast because we do have some really big changes on the way. This is going to be kind of a roller coaster ride over the next 2 weeks or so. But this morning specifically, if you are going to be heading out for whatever reason, maybe you still have to go to work, you're doing some last minute plans to prepare for New Year's Eve, we do have a dense fog advisory in place. That's going to be in place until 9 a.m. and that's when we expect the worst of the fog to take place between now and 9 a.m. That's going to be for all of our counties with the exception of Marion County and also Flagler County. So that's where we're going to be expecting. We can still expect some dense fog there, but really the worst of it's going to be for our counties here in blue. So just keep that in mind. Here's a live view of Titusville this morning, a live view in Brevard County from our Launch Credit Union camera where we can see visibility has been reduced. So that's just going to be something we have to deal with and contend with throughout the morning. But we are going to be expecting that fog to continue through about 8, 9 a.m. I would say at least. By 10 a.m. things should fare a lot better. Looking ahead ahead, though, towards around lunchtime, we're going to be seeing about a 20% chance of rain. So a couple of showers possible, not a washout, but temperatures will be right around the low 70s. Today is going to be a warm day. In fact, 72 degrees is our average high. We'll hit that by lunchtime. And then looking ahead towards the afternoon, so by about 5 o'clock, we'll make it to 80 degrees and we'll start to dry things out as well throughout the 5 o'clock hour. Now, when it comes to highs across the board, we're looking at those right around the upper 70s and low 80s. Again, high today in Orlando of 80 degrees, 79 in Sanford and DeLand, 78 in Leesburg and Bushnell, as well as Claremont, and 78 from New Smyrna and into Daytona Beach. But let's talk those rain chances because we can't completely rule those out for today. And this is actually going to be partially due to a cold front that's going to be pushing through. It's going to be a very weak cold front at that, but it is going to help to cool us down a bit for tomorrow and into the end of the week. So you'll see a couple of these showers will be possible through the late morning hours. These are very hit and miss. We're talking light showers, a couple of sprinkles here and there, kind of similar to like what we saw yesterday. And then as we get closer towards around 5 or 6 o'clock, we'll start to see things really vastly improve in terms of dry time, which is perfect timing for New Year's Eve. If you have any sort of New Year's Eve plans, you're going to be in really good shape. So we're looking at 66 degrees for the 10 o'clock hour, as a lot of people are maybe going out. If you're maybe going out, that is, by midnight. So as we start off 2025, 65 degrees, and we're staying nice and dry, and through 2 a.m., 63 degrees, still staying dry and mild. So you really won't need the jacket. Honestly, we're going to be quite mild as we head over the course of tonight and even into early parts of tomorrow, but we are going to be seeing some really big changes, not only for the rest of this week, but also beyond, because we are looking at a high chance of below normal temperatures. Essentially what you see with this dark blue color across much of the southeastern U.S., really across much of the eastern U.S. So we're looking at a high chance of below normal temperatures. This is going to be from roughly January 8th through the 14th, and we could be talking about temperatures 20 degrees below normal. You'll see our normal high, 72 degrees. We could see highs only reach the low 50s, if not even cooler than that, with overnight lows possibly dipping down into the 20s and maybe the 30s. So it's going to be a cold stretch. So enjoy this one while we've got it, because we're looking at pleasant temperatures. Tomorrow, high 70, a little breezy and cooler. For Thursday, a high of 66. But you'll notice this weekend for Saturday, we do cool things back off a bit, a high of 60 degrees. Otherwise, we stay fairly rain-free over the next several days, with the exception of a couple of stray showers for today. All right, it's 5:20. Time now for a look at traffic. Skyfox traffic this morning, and look at the roadways. So our drive times, we are in the green. It looks like an incident may have popped up across parts of areas just to the south, it looks like, of the I-4 corridor there in south of downtown Orlando. So we'll have to keep you posted on that incident. But otherwise, from Daytona to Orlando, you're in the green on I-4 westbound, just 40 minutes. 417 to downtown, 7 minutes on the 408. And then Champions Gate to downtown, just 21 minutes on I-4 eastbound. Let's get a look at gas prices, though, with Pump Patrol, because this is a great deal. $2.92 at the Wawa. This is going to be in Orlando on Goldenrod Road, 608 North Goldenrod Road to be exact. Head over to our website, fox35orlando.com, to find more really great deals on gas prices where you live. All right, guys, I'll send it back over to you at the desk.
All right, Jess, thanks. Well, coming up on Good Day Orlando, auto insurance rates have been on the rise. What drivers are doing now because of the trend? And
running his final mile, a teenager who created a nonprofit that honors fallen heroes is now passing the torch. We'll tell you what he plans to do next. 5:21. Stay with us. Good Day Orlando continues.
And a good morning, 5:24 on this New Year's Eve. There's looking out in Volusia County. You do see a little fog out there in different spots. We're going to continue to check in with Jess. Really had that for about a week or so now, so maybe you're getting used to it. We'll see how bad today's fog is in a bit. That's the Hard Rock Hotel, Daytona Beach. Today is the final day of trading on Wall Street for the 2024 year. These were the closing numbers yesterday. We saw the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P all down. Keep in mind, though, most of these are up almost 20%, including the S&P. So kind of just seeing a little selling at the end of the year. We'll see if it continues today, and then, of course, Thursday when the market opens for 2025. All right, coming up on Good Day Orlando, Fox 35 investigates now Country Thunder refunds. When we stepped in when frustrated fans were asking for answers.
The positive update this morning is just ahead, also making positive change in the new year. How experts say that you can achieve your goals by making them more attainable. Before we go to break, let's go ahead and take a live look through our downtown camera this morning. Left-hand side of your screen, the Mousetrap area, which is looking pretty good this morning. Not an awful lot of cars passing through. The right-hand side of your screen is what the weather is going to look like today. There is a dense fog advisory in place. We'll tell you when it's going to lift when we come back.
Live from Fox 35 News, you're watching Good Day Orlando.
And right now at 5:30, officers opened fire, killing a man in Orange County. We'll break down the events leading up to this officer-involved shooting.
And it's another foggy morning in Central Florida. Good Day Orlando tracking how it's going to impact your New Year's Eve morning. We have Jess here in just a sec.
You know, speaking of New Year's, a local tradition is getting a last-minute lifeline. We've got the details on this year's Orange Ball drop. It is going to happen.
In a different spot. A lot of people excited to have it back, though.
And we're glad you're back with us here for the 5:30 half hour of Good Day Orlando. It certainly is good to see you. Hope you're doing all right. I'm Danielle Knox.
I'm Ronnie Elijah. So 5:30, we of course get up early. You probably do as well. So in this group, you know, how many of us will stay up till midnight? Is the big question.
Jess.
No, I don't know if Jess will either.
I'm lucky if on a regular night, like a Friday night, I'm lucky if I make it to like 9 p.m.
Oh, that's funny.
I will be happily cozy in my bed at midnight. So that's how I would like to ring in the new year. But if you're heading out this morning, maybe making any sort of last minute plans for New Year's Eve, or maybe if you still have to head into work this morning, we are still dealing with some patchy dense fog. This is a live view of I-95 in Brevard County, where we can see there's certainly some patchy dense fog out there. We can still see some headlights, which is good news, but use your low beams if you're going to be heading out. We have a dense fog advisory in place until 9 a.m. for pretty much all of our counties, the exception of Marion and Flagler counties. Still, though, we can expect some patchy dense fog in those spots, but it's likely to be the worst in the areas you see in blue, which is the rest of our counties and really much of the Florida Peninsula at this point. Temperatures, though, this morning are anywhere from the mid to upper 60s. It is a warm start to our day, and that's contributing to the fog this morning. 66 degrees right now in Orlando, 67 in Bithlo, 68 in Sanford and DeLand, and 66 right now in Daytona Beach and also in Palm Coast. So as we get you out the door, if you're wondering when the fog is going to end, well, by around 10 o'clock, we'll start to see a lot of improvements. So some steady clearing will be taking place. We'll go from 64 at 7 up to 68 degrees through the 9 o'clock hour, and 11 a.m. will be up to 72 degrees. So coming up, I'll talk more on just how warm we get today, plus the latest on how 2025, the first couple of days, are shaping up. But first, a look at the roadways with Skyfox traffic for you this morning. And here's a live view of our Lake Mary Tower camera. We have a handful of cars out on the roadways this morning, so not seeing a whole lot in the way of any major congestion or delays at this point. So if you're heading from Lake Mary Boulevard into downtown Orlando, so close to Colonial Drive, you're in good shape as far as that drive time goes. You're in the green, only a 12-minute commute for you this morning. I'll keep you posted, though, of any other major incidents or delays for the rest of the morning. Until then, Ryan, Danielle, send back to you.
Jessica, sounds good. Let's get to this developing news this morning. We're learning more now about an officer-involved shooting in Orlando. This happened about a block away from a high school in Pine Hills. Officers did respond to Shining Willow Terrace around 9:13 last night for a domestic disturbance. That's where police say they encountered the 26-year-old, found the suspect on the porch. Officers noticed the suspect had a gun and told him not to touch that. They said the suspect ran. He was cut off by police. Officers tased him when he reportedly refused their commands. The police chief saying 2 officers shot the suspect when he reached for a gun. The suspect did die on the scene. Both officers now on paid administrative leave while FDLE investigates. In Polk County, a man shoots off his own finger while reportedly shooting at his ex's new boyfriend. Police in Haines City say Jervin Romero and his girlfriend lived together for more than 20 years before they broke up 4 months ago. On Sunday, Romero allegedly broke into the woman's home where she was with her new boyfriend. The suspect opened fire, hitting the victim multiple times. Police said they found Romero hiding in a tree about a mile away. He's now charged with attempted murder. The victim is expected to recover. And this morning, of course, we're just hours away from the start of a new year.
I know it's hard to believe, but here we are, and there will be a number of celebrations happening across Central Florida tonight, including the Orange Bowl drop. Fox 35's Morgan Parrish is joining us in Orlando this morning. And Morgan, good morning to you. And, you know, here's the thing. This tradition almost didn't happen this year.
Danielle, good morning. Yeah, so a lot of people were concerned about this, but the show will continue. We learned that the orange ball will still drop from on top of the reindeer room in Thornton Park. So again, a lot of people didn't know if this was going to take place this year, and now people are getting ready for those New Year's Eve celebrations. And the orange ball is 25 years old, and actually right now it's currently being worked on to make sure that it is shiny and bright to bring in the new year. So we know that hundreds of people are going to be out here tonight celebrating, and a lot of people are saying that they are happy that this tradition is still ongoing. Reporting downtown, I'm Morgan Parrish, Fox 35 News.
All right, Morgan, thank you. An update this morning to a story that we followed very closely here on Good Day Orlando. People who bought tickets to the canceled Country Thunder concert are finally receiving their refunds. Organizers in Osceola County called off the show due to Hurricane Milton almost 3 months ago. After our latest story, people messaged us to say the company now has reached out to them directly on Facebook to give a refund receipt, though one customer tells us that she's still waiting on money to actually show up in her account.
They had told me that my refund was issued on December 19th and that I should have it in 7 to 10 business days. So then I turned around and checked with my bank. My bank told me that it only takes 2 to 7 days for something like that. So there was no authorization number on there. There was no transaction number on there. There was nothing on there that said this, was processed into your bank.
And we can verify other customers do have money back in their accounts. We reached out to Country Thunder for comment once again, but have not yet heard back.
Coming up, Good Day Orlando. The stage is set now for a showdown in Congress this week, coming up Friday.
So who is now giving current House Speaker Mike Johnson a big boost in his bid to keep his job for the new year? Plus, a local teen completes a 6-year journey. We'll show you the great cause behind his Run for Heroes when we come back. But before we go, here's a live look through our downtown camera. You see some fog there in the distance, all the lights on in the buildings there downtown, as the sun will be rising, in just about an hour or so. Stay with us. Good Day Orlando continues in just about 3 minutes or so. Don't go far.
On your phone, on your TV, download the Fox 35 local app.
And good morning, 19 minutes before 6 o'clock. That is the look. Really see a lot of traffic coming in to Seminole County. Of course, that'd be from Volusia County. This is Lake Mary Tower camera right now. Seeing some decent traffic here at 541. Not a bad fog scene. That has been the case throughout a lot of Central Florida. We'll check in with Jess here in just a bit. One other showdown, meanwhile, in Congress later this week. Republicans facing another crisis over electing Speaker of the House. We do have some developments on that, though. Fox's Doug Rosader is live in Washington. Doug, good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning.
That's right. We will find out Friday. Got to leave it there for now. Doug, thanks for the insight. Good to see you.
Thanks, Ryan.
Hi, good morning and good morning, Central Florida. Here is a live view of our Titusville camera in Brevard County, our Launch Credit Union camera, where the big story once again is going to be the patchy dense fog this morning as you're getting outside. So you're going to notice it. Not everyone is seeing the dense fog, but it's going to be very hit and miss. So it's just a good idea to give yourself a couple of extra minutes if you do have to head out this morning. Otherwise, we do expect the fog to gradually improve as we get closer towards the late morning. So we have that dense fog advisory in place until 9 a.m. And after 9 a.m. is when we'll really see some quick improvements as far as the fog clearing out and lifting out of the way, and that will give way to a partly to mostly cloudy sky at times. So we're looking at around a 10 to 20% chance of rain. That will begin to take place as the fog clears out. So that's going to begin to take place close to 10, 11 o'clock. We'll expect those chances to increase to around a 20% chance by 11, noon o'clock, noon today, not noon o'clock, 11 o'clock today. But as we get closer towards around 1 and 2 o'clock, we'll be expecting that 20% chance to continue through about 4 or 5 p.m. before things gradually wrap up. Temperatures, though, are going to be mild today. We're looking at a high of 80 degrees. That is almost 10 degrees above normal for this time of year. Now, we talked about those rain chances. We are going to be expecting those to, again, gradually pick up close to around 11 a.m. These are going to be slowly moving in from our north and west, and this is actually going to be due to a cold front that's pushing through. So these showers are going to be very hit and miss all the way through about 2, 3 p.m. They'll slowly work their way from west to east as the day progresses, and they're going to be fizzling out as they do so. So by 3 o'clock, we could see a couple of these very light showers, very hit and miss in the Orlando area. But by 5 o'clock, it looks like most of us will be on the drier side, and then the front itself is going to push through as we head into tonight. So it will be a little breezy tonight for any sort of New Year's Eve plans. The last night of 2024, it is going to be on the warm side, so you really won't have to worry about the jacket or the rain gear either. 66 degrees for the 10 o'clock hour as most people are heading out. But by midnight, as we ring in the new year, we're looking at 65 degrees, and and then 63 degrees through the 2 o'clock hour as hopefully most people are heading home. So we're seeing temperatures this morning right around the 60s for many of us. But as we look ahead towards the extended forecast in terms of, around the second week of January, this is going to be our next big story. This is where we have a big drop in temperature. Some of the coldest air we're going to be feeling likely all winter long, and that could really be the case for the eastern half of the U.S. So the reason why we have this large area of dark blue, this is from the Climate Prediction Center. This helps to indicate how high of a chance we have of below normal temperatures. So essentially what you need to know is that it's going to be cold the second week of January. We could potentially see highs at best make it into the 50s, at least the way things stand right now. So looking ahead towards around January 8th, we could see temperatures anywhere from around 15 to 20 degrees below normal. So that would put us right around the low 50s. And this will likely continue through about much of the week, the rest of the week, that is through Sunday. That's going to be January 12th, where we're expecting those below normal temperatures. Hopefully things start to trend in the upward direction in terms of seeing warmer temperatures, but as of right now, it looks like it's going to be a pretty substantial cool down. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Temperatures will go from the low 70s tomorrow, so a little bit of a cool down. High of 70 degrees for our Wednesday, 66 for Thursday, and then by Saturday, a high of 60. But we are going to be staying nice and dry outside of today's rain chances. 5:48 time now for a look at Garner's Garden this morning, and this is from Liz Rodriguez in DeLand, and this is her morning therapy. So this looks like a beautiful yellow flower she has there with some really nice decorations too. We love seeing your plant and garden photos. Head over to our website, fox35orlando.com/garden, to show us your garden feature, and we would love to feature it here on Good Day Orlando. Let's feature the roadways, though, with a look at Sky Fox traffic this morning, because we do have a couple of incidents this morning. This is going to be a crash with the right lane blocked off. This is going to be on South Jungyoung Parkway in the northbound direction. So this is actually going to be pretty close to Freedom High School, and this is going to be at the intersection of the Central Florida Parkway. So just keep that in mind. We have another incident as well. This is going to be on I-95, where it looks like we have the shoulder blocked off, and that's going to be a spot we're keeping a close eye on too, in case we do have some backups in that particular spot. So again, this is going to be on I-95 in the southbound direction. It looks like this is going to be taking place close to Indian River City and just to the south of Titusville, close to the Cheney Highway exit. That's where we have the shoulder blocked off at this point. But it is 5:49. I will send it back over to you, Ryan and Danielle, at the desk.
Does the name Jolt Cola sound familiar? When it first hit store shelves back in the 80s, Jolt Cola gained attention for offering up an awful lot of caffeine. Its slogan, all the sugar and twice the caffeine. The drink is set to make a comeback in 2025. All right, so here's the deal. Each can will contain 200 milligrams of caffeine. For comparison, a cup of coffee has just 95. Both Monster and Red Bull drinks have about 80 milligrams of caffeine. Is that safe?
That's a great question. We might need to bring in Dr. Knight for that.
Exactly. We will find out, right? Oh, boy. Okay.
What I drink, it's probably the better question.
Right,
I think we'd be both leery of that.
Can you imagine?
All right, well, this is going to be an interesting story to follow in 2025. Condo owners, listen up, because ahead on Good Day Orlando, we've got new details of brand new regulations. They could see yearly fees go up in a big way. This has been feared about for a while. Well, it kicks in tomorrow.
Today's Weather Baby is sponsored by attorney Dan Newlin.
All right, everybody, we're taking a live look through our iDrive camera this morning. A little eerie and dark out there still at 6 before the 6 o'clock hour, but there's a building lit up in blue off there to the left, which gives a little bit of brightness in all of that darkness. Thanks for spending part of your morning with us. Many condo owners across Florida will see fees go up in the next year. It's because of new safety regulations set to go into effect tomorrow. So this law says condo associations will need to have enough money in their reserves to cover major repairs. Older condos facing hefty increases in order to fund their reserves. For a lot of years, they've been operating as a deficit in order to keep the HOAs low and the repair costs low. But so what this means is that owners are now looking at higher HOA fees because of this new law. And for buildings with 3 or more stories, new regulations require HOAs to file an inspection report by today, December 31st.
There's a belief that the legislature may get involved in this, but that's not going to happen till March, so we'll see. Many people, by the way, will be setting New Year's resolutions. We know that in the days ahead. You may have heard the rumor, Rome wasn't built in a day. Well, neither are new habits.
Absolutely not. So this year, health experts are recommending setting attainable goals that can lead to long-lasting lifestyle changes.
So rather than a resolution, which is something you're kind of holding as this thing you must achieve, a lifestyle goal is something that you incorporate into your life. So it becomes part of what you do.
So where should you start? Health experts recommend with smaller steps like getting 15 more minutes of sleep every day or trying a short meditation session every morning. And rather than saying you're going to go to the gym 4 times a week, just decide to go to the gym more often, right? So that way you can give yourself some grace and some leeway if you don't always meet your goals.
Love it. By the way, I was talking to a gym operator yesterday. He was getting ready for the rush, but he said a lot of times the prices go up January 1st, so check today if you're thinking about doing it. At a consumer report this morning, a popular candy brand is now recalling chocolate bars just after Christmas. Gardner's Candies recalling its cappuccino melt-away bars because the packaging fails to note the product may contain cashews. That's a danger for those with nut allergies. The company is saying chocolate bars are been recalled. It's part of the melt-away treat boxes. In addition to the recall, it's also pausing production of the bars. There are no reported illnesses at this time, but keep in mind if you have any of those. All right, 5:57 is the time. Much more ahead as we look ahead to the next hour.
Go Deer Orlando at 6 o'clock starts on the other side of this short break. Don't go far. Taking a live look now through our downtown cam once again as we head into just about a 2.5-3 minute break. We'll be right back.